We have N sweets in a bag. 6 of them are orange. The rest of them are yellow. Hannah takes a random sweet from the bag and eats it. Hannah then takes a second random sweet from the bag and eats that one too. The probability that Hannah eats 2 orange sweets is 1/3. Prove n squared minus n minus 90 equals 0. Fun fact, when people first saw this question, they thought the last line was a typo that made finding a solution impossible. Oh, also, because I think you can handle it, I'm going to ask this bonus question. What's the total amount of sweets in the bag on Hannah's second reach in? If you think you can solve it, pause the video and post your answer in the comments. Other than that though, let's break it down. Despite that last line being a bit of a curveball, the solution is fairly simple. We just need to know a little bit about probabilities. Before we learn how to do that though, let's try to model our situation with some numbers. Hannah starts with a bag of N candies where 6 of them are orange. We know the probability of her randomly choosing 2 oranges in a row is 1/3. But we'll put that off to the side for now because I want to focus on each pull from the bag individually. On her first pull, Hannah's probability of pulling an orange candy is 6 over n, because out of n candies, only 6 of them are orange. On her second pull, however, the probability of pulling an orange piece isn't 5 over n, it's 5 over n minus 1. This is because she eats the candy she just pulled from her first random selection without putting another one back in the bag, which means we not only have to subtract 1 from the amount of orange candies, but also the total amount of candies in the bag. Now that we've modeled the probabilities of each individual pull Hannah takes from the bag, let's try to relate it back to that 1/3 probability they gave us in the problem. This is the point where most people give up because they don't know how to connect these probabilities together, which is unfortunate because all they needed to know were some basic probability rules. More specifically, all they needed to know was that the probability of 2 random events happening consecutively is the same as multiplying their individual probabilities together. In the case of our problem, this translates to the 1/3 probability they gave us equaling the probability of Hannah's first pull times the probability of Hannah's second pull, which is 30 over n squared minus n. And this is great, because now we have an expression that contains part of what we were asked to show in that last line. Let's see if we can clean it up a bit though by multiplying by n squared minus n and 3 to get rid of the fractions. Would you look at that, we have all 3 terms in that last line somewhere in our equation. And at this point, it should be pretty obvious that all we have to do is subtract over that 90 to get our final equation of n squared minus n minus 90 equals 0. But we've still got one more question to answer. How many pieces of candy were in the bag on that second pull? If your algebra skills are up to date, the solution is pretty straightforward. As described in the problem, n is the total number of candies in the bag on Hannah's first pull. This means all we have to do is solve for n in our equation, then subtract 1 to get the total number of candies in the second pull. To solve for n, we can just factor this expression into the terms n minus 10 and n plus 9, which gives us n equals 10 and n equals negative 9. We know we can't have negative candies in the bag, so we don't have to consider it as a solution in this context. This means all that's left to do is subtract 1 from 10 to find that there were 9 pieces of candy in the bag on Hannah's second pull. Now I know this problem might have been easy if you're confident in basic probability and algebra, so if you want more of a challenge, check out this other viral problem. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.